Hello and welcome back to Make Finance Easy. This is going to be video one of the series of Game Theory and Economics, which is the secret logic of economics in total. So, in game theory, it's why the individual's decisions shape the entire economy. So, let's imagine there's two gas stations in your town. One morning, station A starts to lower its cents by 10 cents. Then, station B now has two choices: match the lower price or keep the prices same. If station B keeps the prices high and doesn't lower it, it loses customers. But if it matches station A, both stations earn less profit than before, which means neither owner is trying to help the customers, but they're just simply reacting to each other. This is what game theory is. And game theory is one of the most important ideas in modern economics because almost every economic decision depends on what their competitor or others do. So, what is economics? Economics is the study of how people make choices when resources are limited. Has unlimited wants. They want better phones, bigger houses, more vacations. But we only have such limited resources. We have such limited time, money, labor, or raw materials. So, economists study how people allocate these scarce resources. In traditional economies, it often assumes that people make decisions independently. But game theory changes that. It says your decision may depend entirely, if not all, on somebody else's decision. So, what is game theory? Game theory is the mathematical study of economics in strategic interaction. A strategic interaction occurs whenever your outcome depends not only on your actions, but also on the actions of others. The game can be two businesses competing, two countries negotiating, two students deciding where they want to study together, like the library or the cafe, or millions of investors buying stocks. So, there's four parts of every game. First is the players or the decision makers. Some examples of this is Apple and Samsung, Coca-Cola and Pepsi, or two neighboring countries, or even just two firms trying to hire the same group of workers. Number two, the strategy. These are the possible actions available. For example, a restaurant can raise prices, lower prices, keep prices constant, add new items, take out items. There's always different actions available. Three, payoffs. The rewards that each player receives. In economics, payoffs are often profit, revenue, market share, utility, or dividends. So, what is utilities? Utilities simply just mean the satisfaction or happiness. Economists assume people generally try to maximize utility. And number four, informations. Do the other players know what others have chosen? And there's two major types: simultaneous games, like players acting at the same time, or like an example is a sealed bid auction, or a sequential game where one player moves first and the other player counterattacks onto that move. Some examples are chess or even just business expansion. So, into here, we talk about the rational choice theory. Game theory is built on the idea of rationality. A rational person tries to maximize their own payoffs based on the available information. This doesn't necessarily mean they're a selfish person. A parent buying food for their child is still acting rational because they value their child's well being. Into here, we talk more on opportunity cost. One of the most important concepts in economics is opportunity cost, as even covered earlier. It's the value of the next best alternative you give up. Like if a company spends 10 million on advertising, it can no longer spend that $10 million that they spent on advertising on stuff like research, hiring workers, or even building the factories. So every economic decision has a hidden cost in it. So game theory studies how these opportunity costs change depending on competitors' actions. An example is the ice cream stand. Suppose a beach has customers spread evenly along 1 mile. Two vendors choose locations. If one stays left and one on the right, everyone walks a short distance. But if one moves towards the center, they capture more customers. The other vendor responds to this action, and eventually both of them end up in the middle. This particular outcome is called a Nash equilibrium. Neither vendor can improve by moving alone. Interestingly, though, this equilibrium is not socially optimal. Customers would rather have the vendor spread out. But this demonstrates an important economic principle. Individual incentives do not always create the best outcome for society in a whole. Now, let's talk about Adam Smith and the invisible hand. Adam Smith is known as a classic economist, one of the first of his times, and he argued that individuals pursuing their own interests often benefit society through competition. And this idea is known as the invisible hand. Game theory adds an important qualification. Sometimes self interest produce inefficient outcomes, and this is most commonly known by economists as market failure. So, in conclusion, economies study choices, but the game theory studies choices when other people matter. In the next video, we'll explore the most famous example ever created, the prisoner's dilemma, and learn why competition can sometimes make everyone and the entire economy worse off. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next in Make Finance Easy.